Times got a brother expressing
motherfucker. Life straight. Yeah, it was the mindset of the times. So I wanted to write a rap that got in the mind of that would make a person go rob a bank. You feel me? And this was not a fantasy. This is reality. This was my reality at the time. You feel me? Before when Mac Dre went to jail, me and Sleep Dank was walking up the street, and right when I'm talking to him about, man, maybe let's link up on something and hit a lick, DJ Cease called me and said, "Hey, Kyrie want to have a meeting with you," and that saved my life.
I represent the Yay area.
What's up, Flow family? This is DjRon, the classic DJ from the Bay, and I want to welcome you to the Classic Flow interview featuring Mac Mall as he gives his opinion on the album Illegal Business and life growing up in the Bay Area, most notably the crest of Vallejo, California. Now, keep in mind, interviews normally have musical documentation. This one does not because of copyright, even though it's Mac Mall's music, so we just going to do it the way we do it. I appreciate y'all for locking in on the flow. God bless.
Welcome to Classic Flow, the documentary style breakdown where we honor the artists, the albums, and the stories that shaped hip hop, especially here in the Bay Area. And if this is your first time here, the show is all about context. It's about culture and living legends, the space to tell their truth in their own words. Today, we're sitting with a pillar of Vallejo and a cornerstone of Bay Area rap history, Mac Mall. At a young age, Mac Mall released his debut album, Illegal Business, a project that didn't just make noise, it made an impact. So it helped us to define the independent Bay Area movement. It brought national eyes to Vallejo, and it gave the Crest Side a voice that was much younger, but sharp and unapologetically authentic. Backed by visionary production and guided by a community of real ones, Illegal Business became one of the most important debut albums in West Coast rap. So the fact that Mac Mall chose to sit down with us here on Classic Flow to talk openly about the creation of that album, the mindset, the moments, the message, and the legacy, it's a rare opportunity to capture real hip-hop history firsthand. So whether you've been following Maul since the early 90s or if you're just now learning about him and the imprint he left on the culture, this is a special one. This is Classic Flow. We're talking about the mix. We're talking about the culture. We're talking about the movement. And this is the story of Mac Mall and how he kept it rolling with Illegal Business. So what's up, man? How you feeling, bro?
Hey, first I want to say thank you for having me. And you know what I mean, man? I'm blessed, man. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. And, you know, it truly is a blessing. And I just want to just say for the people that you've been real from day one, since we first talked. You know, we haven't officially met yet, you know what I mean? But I know that day is going to be coming. But, you know, you've been professional, you've been busy, you've been rolling, but you're still able to lock it in and sit down with us tonight. So we definitely appreciate that. So on that note, man, how was this weekend show? How did it go?
I actually had two shows that day. One of them, of course, the D-Shot and Friends. And then my brother, Booby, it was his birthday. So me and Doobie and Sleep Dank actually did a performance after that. So it was a double hitter. And, you know, it's always good to hook up with the other brothers, you know what I mean, and do our thing. You know, Drew Down, you know what I mean, the Mossy, you know what I mean, the Click, who are my relatives, you know what I mean, like blood cousins. Who else? Keek the Sneak. Now, these are people that I've been knowing over 20 years. And it's always good. It's like a class reunion when we're able to get together. You feel me?
Yeah.
And always love. You know what I mean? So it was dope seeing everybody. And, you know, both shows was like sold out. So it was a beautiful thing.
I know that was epic, man. You mentioned Drew Down. Had a chance to rock with Drew Down. I was a DJ and he performed that night. You mentioned D-Nail. You know, that's for those that don't know, that's D-Shot real name. He's been a real, saw him outside quite a few times. And then you said Keek the Sneak, man. Shout out to that brother who been doing this thing for a long time. And even in this situation, you know.
Still doing this thing. Keek don't stop, man. Keek don't stop. You feel me? For real.
That's what it's all about, man. So, and I'm glad you mentioned that the Click is your cousins because, you know, there was some misunderstanding back in the day. So
it was like we are from two different sides of Vallejo. Me, of course, I'm from the Country Club Crest side, and they are from the hillside. You know what I mean? And those two neighborhoods, you know, beefed. You feel me? But you know, they have all. You know, we are family. So You know what I mean? Even though they might not be so cool with my partners, and I'm not so cool with their partners, it's never anything between them and me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Straight up. You know, it's just the way things broke down, and you know, we never tried to hurt each other, so it just how things broke down. You feel me? But I love my family. You know what I mean? And I always respect them for what they did. You know, for Vallejo culture and for hip hop culture in the Bay Area.
And you know what? That's what it is. This is what it is.
And we're gonna turn it out, man. I only got one volume, and that's 10. You feel me?
All the way up.
Yes, sir.
I know you mentioned Torch too. I think that's coming in the springtime or something like that. Definitely plan to be in the venue for that.
Yeah. We definitely doing things. You know what I mean? In a minute, I'm finna be gearing up for. I'm doing Yoshi's in the summer for my birthday. I'm doing 2 shows at Yoshi June 14th. And then we're going to be partying out there. It's my birthday, so it's going to be very special, a very special show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, June 14th. Oh, you got that Gemini energy going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going to talk about Pac in just a minute, man. But look, bro, man, I'm excited about this, man. And definitely want to get back to Torch. I was one of the first DJs they had there. But we're finna get into this album, bro. Like I said, it's
business. Illegal Business, produced by Kyrie. You know what I mean? It was other producers on there too. I got to give it up for Love Lee. You know what I mean? A couple other cats did their thing. DJ Cease was the DJ on there. You know, all the scratch, man. He rest in peace. And it's like I actually wrote that record when I was 15 years old, and it dropped when I was 16. I was still in school. You know what I mean? Just a kid, man. You know what I mean? At the time, I thought I was grown. You know what I mean? But I look at 15-year-old kids now and I just be like, damn, you feel me? That was me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was the temperature in the Crest at that time?
Oh, it was going down. It was on fire. People, you know, gang banging. And, you know, that's when the bank robberies start to hit big. You feel me? It basically was a time where a lot of the cats in my neighborhood stopped selling dope and started robbing banks. You feel me? And these are all of my people. These are all of my people, you know? So it was crazy there, man. I didn't know if I was going to make it, honestly. You know what I mean? I didn't know if I was going to make it. I didn't know if I was going to go to the pen forever because I wanted to get in the car. You feel me? But, you know, God had different plans for me. And it was just, you know, just growing up in the ghetto, you know what I mean? And seeing all this stuff going on around me. And, you know, the only voice that I really had was my music. Or actually, when I was younger, I used to have a stuttering problem. And the only time that I didn't stutter is when I rapped and when I cussed. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, it was just, it was a crazy time, man. And, you know, the voice that I had was through my music. So I was just like soaking in everything and just writing it down. And see, a lot of people don't know this, but I was actually supposed to be on Romper Room Records. You know what I mean? I was supposed to be on Romper Room Records. But Jay Diggs, Kilo Kurt, and Mac Dre was set up by the feds. And Dre had went to jail, which Dre allowed Kyrie to holler at me. And, you know, at first my parents was not going to let me sign. You know what I mean? Imagine, because the only thing that they knew about music is people go crazy, they go broke, and they get on drugs. So why would they want their 15-year-old kid to be involved in that? But, you know, my guardian angel was DJ Cease. You feel me? Because he actually came, when Kyrie came to the Crest to speak to my parents, they basically said that they would allow me to do this, but DJ Cease had to look out for me. And he definitely did do that. You know what I mean? And for me, it was like, you know, Kyrie was a giant, you know what I mean, at the time. You know what I mean? He was responsible for the soundtrack of our lives. You feel me? So, yeah, so, you know, when it was just like, you know, he produced the Mac, which is my namesake, Mac Dre, which is my namesake. So if for me to step in line, it was just like, to me, it was like meant to be. You know what I mean? Straight up.
And it looked like y'all went from age, like it was a hierarchy of sort. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
A grown man, Mac Dre, around 18, make a rap till I'm 80 though.
Yeah.
So his age, and then here you come.
Yeah, how I like to explain it, you know, the Mac was the baller. You feel me? He was the baller. He rocking with the, you know what I mean? Rick and Renard, they was ballers. So the Mac came at it like that. Mac Dre was the hood, everyday cat grinding, doing his thing. You feel me? and I'm like the youngin that's around. You feel me? So, yeah, that's how basically things went. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Now you mentioned Kyrie. I don't know if Kyrie as a producer.
You say what?
I don't know if Kyrie actually gets his props as a producer. You know, Young Black Brother and all that stuff like that. But on that first song, on that Crest Side Player, it's really just like a break beat, right? And I thought you could have flowed over that beat, man. But no, it was no rapping. It was just like more of like an intro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Kyrie was very cinematic with the way that he came at music. You know what I mean? Everything told a story. And at the time, I'm telling you, he one of the first beats he ever played for me was Illegal Business, the beat Illegal Business. And you know, it had the breakdowns up in there. It was like a movie, man. I think it was Heat or something. So yeah, man, you know, it was just like a hand in glove. Yeah, it was easy working with him, even though I had to cut school. You feel me? Some of the times I had to cut like 5th and 6th period, and I would go to his house and I would record, and then I would go back to to Hogan High and I would catch the bus home. You feel me? Yeah. But we got it done. You know what I mean?
Mom didn't know about that. All right.
Nah. She wouldn't have liked that either. Cause they basically told me, you know, as long as I finish my school and I'm up on my school thing, that I can do the music. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel it, bro. So the next song is Sick With This, man. And just you start off, you know, Mac Marley, no celebrity. I'm just a player with some GAME. You know what I mean? Who was doing the ad-libs? Is that you doing the ad-libs, or is that Kyrie?
Nah, that's me. You know what I mean? That's me doing the ad-libs, basically talking to myself. Yeah. And that's just a raw youngster, man, a mannish youngster. You know what I mean? Spitting his thing. You know, I didn't even have girls like that. But if I did, this how I be. You feel me? So it was just raw, man. It was just raw. And, you know, I grew up, you know what I mean? I am a child, or I'm a son of Magic Mike and Calvin T.
Shout out,
you feel me? Yeah. And of Too Short. So, you know what I mean? And one thing the Crest do is produce Max. So, you know, that was me spitting my Mac stuff and, you know, talking about the wick and all that stuff. You feel me? Just spitting my thing. You know what I mean? Spitting my thing. You feel me?
In other words, you already saw the blueprint. You just knew how to build on it. That's what it is.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You know, basically, you know what I mean? I can cuss from here, right?
You're good.
Yeah, so it's basically just pop your shit, man. You feel me? Pop your shit. I come up on like I say, Magic Mike and Calvin T. Those are people who I based my style after. Ice-T, King T. You know what I mean? People who had game and not just MCs. Of course, I was an MC, but I had to spit game too. You know what I mean? Because that's what I like the most. Because with rappers, you got the tough guy, you got the rich guy, you got the lyrical miracle backpack guy. You feel me? But me, I wanted to spit game. Like like the people who I looked up to, like the Magic Mike and Calvin T's and the Ice-T's. You feel me? Yeah. Straight up.
Let me say this. Yeah. You already talked about D-Shot. Bila. It's people I want, and of course, you know, we'd love to have 40 on here as well. You know, and it's coming. I document them, but you know, we want to get deeper with it.
Right.
But say Ice-T and King T, though, that's old school. So you didn't just look at the blueprint. You saw the plans. You was like sitting at the round table saying like, because that's like some real deep homework kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Ice-T.
I'm not to cut you off, but I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm a child of hip hop. You know what I mean? And you know, in the, you know what I mean, the 80s and the 90s, you know what I mean? One of my favorite rappers was Melly Mel. You know what I mean? The message, you know what I mean? The way that he broke things down. He wasn't just making music, he was teaching you. He was spitting game, he was spitting his ism. So, you know, and Ice-T, you know, I actually got to do a show with Ice-T. I opened up for Ice-T. But this summer I did that, and it was just like a full circle moment, because I remember studying everything about him, the way he dressed, the way he talked. I would read the credits in his songs. I would look at his record cover till it burned into my brain. You know what I mean? And he was such a big influence on me. So for me to actually, you know what I mean, to open up for him, you know, he could have picked anybody in the Bay Area. You feel me? He picked me, and I just thought about, you know what I mean, that little kid who was looking at that record cover and thinking what I would say to that little kid, like, one day You know what I mean? Of course, we all think like, man, I'm gonna get up there, but to actually do it was a beautiful thing. And Ice-T has been cool to me since the first day I met him, and he always looked out. So shout out to Ice-T. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me turn this focus off real fast, man, because we don't need no calls coming through right now.
Okay.
Plus the Doja Day and the candy paint.
Yeah.
I think that's a homage to what you were just talking about, just the way you change your verbiage just a little bit, the way you deliver it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way it shows.
I mean, one thing, I'm an MC, bro. I'm not a rapper. I'm an MC. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I cherish that. I cherish having skills and actually knowing how to MC. You know what I mean? How to have wordplay. You know what I mean? I pride myself on that. I pride myself on having one of the slickest mouthpiece in this whole game. You feel me? Like now, you know what I mean? No shade, but now it seems like a lot of people, you know what I mean? They pride themselves on the lack of being an MC, and I don't understand that.
Well, we know what hip hop was built on, bro. It was always about having something to say initially, the party, talking about what's going on around us, and then, you know, it went a little deeper when Rakim came along. But the fact of it remains is this, and I think most youngsters don't understand this part of it, is when you mention the message and all that, you had people in New York telling us on the West Coast what it was like going on in New York. And we could kind of relate. We could get a glimpse in our mind's eye of the stuff that's going on. You know what I mean? Then once Too Short and Ice-T came down, they got a glimpse of what's going on the West Coast. Then you had Shy-D in Atlanta, and their 2 Live Crew, looped them and everything. So that's when it started to evolve.
Ghetto Boys.
Once Scarface and the Ghetto Boys came on the scene, it was like, oh, this thing is crazy, first of all. And Houston is doing it a lot like LA is doing it, which is a lot like New York is doing it.
Brother, we all get hungry. We all was poor. We all, you know what I mean, feel oppressed. We all, you know what I mean, go through things. There's certain things that's universal, you know what I mean, as our people. You feel me? So it don't matter if you in the South, up North, West Coast, East Coast. We all got certain things that we deal with. You know what I mean? We all deal with the rollers. We all deal with, you know what I mean, trying to pay our bills. We all deal with loving our woman. We all deal with being hated on. You know what I mean? We all deal with the police. You feel me? So there's certain things that we all can relate to no matter where you're from. You feel me?
Yeah. So let me give you your props now. I was gonna wait for a little bit, but let me tell you, when I analyzed Sick with this, I had the radio version, the video version, right? And let me tell you why I like that. And this is something else for young people to pick up as well. Taking those on dates, suckers like that love to play. Hey, when you did that clean version, first of all, there's DMX with Party Up. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Then there's Lil Jon and Get Low. And then you got Plies with Becky. The clean version actually shows your lyricism. You know what I'm saying? You get more exposure. You get more exposure to your greatness, to whereas how lyrical you are with that pen. You understand what I'm saying? Where you really have to say something. You know how hard it is to get people to talk about skeet on the radio, and or about a girl giving fellatio on the radio, and it still be dope and people still could dance to it. And then you got some people like, they didn't even know what they were talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It was out of necessity though, because if you had a single, you had to have a radio version. Now it's not like that. Now things blow up on the internet first, and then the radio catches on. But if you had a record and you had a single, you had to make a radio version. You feel me? And the radio version had to be of the same quality as the original. You know what I mean? So you had to, you know what I mean, go out your way, and you had to make sure that it was just as dope, or you was not gonna get played on the radio. You know what I mean? And you know, it wasn't just, you know, now it's just like, okay, you know, the internet blows up, the radio get it. You were not guaranteed to be on the radio. There was only a certain spot, so you had to, you know what I mean? You had to make it just as dope, because we're putting a lot of money behind the video. I remember shooting that video and playing it for my, I think it was my government teacher, Mr. Hicks. And he allowed me to play the video in class. And if you see that video, I'm up in there, all in the bed with the girl and stuff. The grown woman, because she definitely was grown, and I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And we shot that video at the what was the Holiday Inn in Emeryville, and they had that. If you ever drive past it, at the top floor, they got it's glass.
Man, I DJed up there many times.
Yeah, so we rented that out, and we shot it there. I actually was supposed to shoot the video in the Crest, but the police wouldn't allow me to. So I had a whole day of just wasted money because the police wouldn't allow me. And I remember getting dressed in my house, and it was going to be my big debut, and everybody was excited. But the police wouldn't allow me to do it, so we had to change plans. But yeah, shout out to you know what I mean, the woman in the video. Shout out to man, what's my man name? Oh man, it was just basically a family affair, man. You know what I mean? Everybody in the video, and it was my first video, so I was very excited about it. And yeah, man, I was a kid in school, man. I had to go to school that Monday.
And look, it wasn't a lot of videos out back then. So you in school, I know you was claiming all the fame to walking them hallways with Hogan High.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, you know what I mean? It was, you know, a lot of times when you in the middle of it, you know what I mean? You don't really, you don't get a chance because you're doing it. So you don't get a chance to step back and see. But now as I'm older, I think about those things all the time. And it was just a special time, you know, with special people. A lot of the people in the video is no longer here. You know, rest in peace them. And it was basically the start of everything.
Right. Well, the next song was All Good. That was our theme song of the 90s, man.
Yeah.
We say Stand on My Toes, like I was told by young Mac Dre. Man.
Mac Dre.
Y'all was still cool when he passed?
I was in Kansas City.
You was there? Oh.
Yeah, I was in Kansas City with Dre. You feel me? I was probably rolled Mac Dre his last blunt. You know what I mean? Rest in peace to Furrow. But
Culture was hit hard.
Yeah, oh man, you know, we made a record called the U.S. Open. That was his last record. Yeah, and I can't even listen to that record now. It just hurts me so much. You know what could have been. But back to It's All Good. That beat, da 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 da. You know, it was just that boy Kyrie was bad. You know what I mean? And if the one theme throughout that whole record is that I said Mac Dre name as much as I said mine. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that with them leaving, you know what I mean? I had to hold the Crest down. You feel me? So I said his name, Kilo, Kirk, Jay. I said their names as much as I said my own. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I had to hold it down. I could not let him be forgotten. You know what I mean? Dude was stole from us by the feds. You feel me? So it was important that I kept it going. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Now, one more name you mentioned, you said I love the MAC, not to be confused with Mac Dre.
Yeah.
By Michael Robinson, the Mac. Man, what was he like?
He was the blueprint. You know what I mean? The Mac was the blueprint. I say in my book, my opinion, you know, that's on Amazon right now. I say he basically was the person that let me know that you can chase dreams and actually catch it. He the one who let me know that it was possible.
That's deep.
You feel me? And he was just bigger than life. He was always bigger than life to me. You know what I mean? He was always my hero, and he was somebody who I can actually touch. You know what I mean? At first, rap was, you know, on record covers and on TV, but it was nothing that was right in front of me. But he was right in front of me. He was my hero, still is my hero to the day, but he was the blueprint. This is somebody who I watched grow up. You know what I mean? He's older than me, but I always idolized him, and I always watched him. So to see him do it, you know, he let me know that I actually can do it, man. And that's so important for the youth. You feel me? To you know, to let them see it and let them know that you can do it. And not only can you do it, you can do it bigger. You feel me? But we need to actually see it. You feel me? Straight up.
And looking at him with the snap tight Kango gold.
Man, come on, man. He was, man, dude. I remember because a lot of people don't know this, but the Mac actually went with my cousin Laria. You feel me? And I remember being in junior high, and he came to pick up my one of my cousins. He came to pick up Laria's sister Jerika, and I happened to be there. And he gave me a poster of The Game Is Thick. And he said, "Hey, y'all want to ride to the turf?" You know what I mean? And we like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. And I remember sitting in his car, his Cadillac, and he had so much bass that I felt like my chest was gonna cave in. You feel me? And it was just like, he always was my hero. Always.
Well, I guess that cues you up for the next song because I got to have it, man. That's like a Get My Money On Part 2, or
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. And that I Gotta Have It was actually the first song of mine that ever played on the radio. You feel me?
Yeah.
Theo, remember Theo back in the day? Theo, the Asian cat Theo that was on the radio.
I do remember that name. Yeah.
Theo was actually in the Janet Jackson video too. He was also in the Janet Jackson video, but he played me on the radio for the first time. And the song was I Gotta Have It. I remember being in the Crest in the car with my boy Sleep Dank and with my cousin Pug, and it came on the radio, and I just remember just turning it up and with us riding around the Crest and just
going crazy.
It was just hearing myself, you know what I mean? Hearing myself on Cameo. And at that time, you got to understand how important Cameo was to Bay Area. You feel me? And to hear myself on it was something very special, and I'll never forget it.
Man, and it sounded like Ray Love, but yours to me it was more original and it showed your ability to flow, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Ray Love. Ray Love, when Mac Dre was taken from us, Ray Love filled in as a big brother role, and he actually put me on some of my first stages. And because when I came, it went from being strictly business record. Kyrie had left and started Young Black Brother Records, but Ray Love never looked at me. Ray Love never looked at me as competition. He looked at me as a little brother. The first video that I ever was in was Get Your Money On video. You feel me? Some of the first stages that I ever been on was Ray Love stages. You feel me?
Yeah.
And a lot of times rappers wouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? People not trying to share. But Ray Love, he always shared with me, and we are tight to this day. That's my brother, always been, you know what I mean? Layla Steinberg, you know what I mean, was my manager. As a kid, before I even had the record, I remember being with Ray Love at a show at a club that he snuck me in because I was only 15.
Yeah, you too young to get in.
and I walked up to Layla and I told her, "You're going to be my manager." And she looking at me like, "Who? First of all, who is this kid?" And she kind of was like, "Okay." And she ended up being my manager. Yeah, shout out Layla. But yeah, it basically was like a Get Your Money On, because people don't know how important Get Your Money On was. Man, that was a giant smash. You feel me? So I wanted something like that. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah. Was Layla, was she your link to Pac, or that came together another way?
No, my link to Pac was actually is a funny story. Okay, so my cousin Shonda, you probably heard her name when 40 say "Baby got her hair done by Shonda." Shonda is my cousin, right?
She do hair, right?
No.
Hey, okay, we got
she did. She used to do Sugar T hair, because they're cousins.
Yeah.
So she's hanging with Sugar T a lot. So she tells me, now my record was out at the time, but I wasn't the Mac Mall that I would become. So she asked me, I'm finna go to E40 doing a video, practice looking hard. Do you want to come? I told her, yeah, sure, I hang out. You know what I mean? Not thinking it would be anything. So I go, and I'm kind of like playing the back. You know what I mean? Straight up, 40 is doing his thing. All of a sudden, I see a white limo pull up, and I start seeing like big Stretch, may rest in peace, Big Country. I see Mike Cooley and Man from Richmond, Pac's crew. So I'm like, man, it's Tupac, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I got to introduce myself, but I got to do it in a cool way. You know what I mean? Yeah. I used to always read a lot of Donald Goines books and Iceberg Slim books, and they talk about how you cut into somebody. You know what I mean? When you cut into somebody, you got to make sure that you do it in a fly way, because if you do it in a sucker way, you always gonna be a sucker. So I sat back and I waited my time, and because of course when Pac come, him being loud and just everybody being buying, he's the center of attention. So I waited till the thing kind of calmed down. And I went up there and I started running my pedigree. Hey, man, what's up? My name is Mac Moore. I'm from Vallejo. I got a new record. It's called Illegal Business, blah, blah, blah. Pac stopped me. And I say this in my book, too. And only the way that Tupac could do, he starts, like, man, you Mac Moore? I'm listening to your shit in the limo right now, man. What are you talking about? He started naming my songs, and I'm just sitting there amazed that he even knew who I was. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we didn't have history, but him and Mac Dre did. You know what I mean? They had shows. We had funk back in the day when we went to the jungle and everything with them dudes. So I always knew who Pac was, and I saw his rise. From being with 5150 in the jungle and all that stuff to what he became. And he's somebody I always felt a kindred spirit, you know what I mean? Being a little skinny nigga, you know what I mean, in the ghetto and stuff, and just the way he came at things. So him knowing who I was very shocking. And he kind of told me something, man, like, yeah, we should do something one day, right? And then I actually told him that my manager was Layla Steinberg. And he was like, dude, Layla, that's like my sister. She was my manager back in the day. And it was just like the worlds like collided. You feel me? Right. But he told me like, we're going to do something one day. One day we're going to do something. And I was like, I took it as one of those LA, we're going to do lunch. You feel me?
Right. You know, people, all that
right.
Stuff.
Yeah. But Pac was a genuine person, man. Next thing I know, he was calling Kyrie. And about 2 weeks later, he was at YBB offices talking about what.
Let me pause you because we're gonna talk about it in a minute. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna do with it.
All right, okay, I understand.
We're gonna get to it in just a minute.
All right.
Let's talk real quick. Cold Sweat. No disrespect, because we're gonna talk about that in just a minute.
Okay.
Cold Sweat, man. Storytelling time, bro. 42 fake situation with a setup chick, basically, right?
Yeah.
It was
basically because people I looked up to was great storytellers, such as KRS-One, such as Ice-T. And this is just one of those things where you just kicking the thing, talking about a situation. You feel me? Another dope storyteller and somebody I am a big fan of is Filthy Phil from Richmond. The Consequences and all stuff like that. So you had to have storytelling in your arsenal. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That out 50, man. Your last verse on that song though is the conclusion that many young black brothers came to, man. To me, it was the underrated verse of that year. There, you know what I'm saying? When you say the cop killers and ninjas want to see me dead, economy, economy, and just you just like just breaking it down and just explaining, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just really reflecting. You know what I mean? And sometimes we need more of that. You feel me? Because one thing about hip hop at that time, it wasn't just one thing. You feel me? It was many things. You heard many voices from everybody. You feel me? You heard, what I mean? Like some of my favorite groups was like, Tribe Called Quest and just Poor Righteous Teachers, you know what I mean? X-Clan and all this stuff that was influencing me at that time. So, of course, for my first record, I wanted to do all those things.
And it's all starting to make sense, man. Your next song on there was Nathan But Game. To me, it's another flow show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Busting it, spitting my shit. You feel me?
Yeah, at first I thought I said, man, Lil Wayne might have got Way of Life from this right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then I changed my mind when I think about him saying, like, it ain't tricking if you got it and all that kind of stuff. And, that wasn't your flow, man. What's your thoughts on or opinion on that statement? If it ain't tricking if you got it.
Only a trick would say that.
And there it is, man. SESPLAYA, man. What were you spelling?
Cess Player. Because as you know, Mac Dre's crew was called the Romper Room. And we are like the Romper Room Junior. Or the name of my crew was the Sesame Street. And it went from Sesame Street to Strictly Cess to 5 Trey 5. You feel me? So it was basically Cess Player. You know what I mean?
And then you had Mac Dre mixed in with the Gifted Gab gang. Yeah. Great gang. Man, I would have loved to have heard a verse from Dre on there, to be honest with you. But you held it.
Actually, my first rap that I ever recorded on the record was when Dre did the record from the Fresno County Jail. My first recorded rap was My Chevy on that record. And it basically was like they set up my whole career
with that
in that song. You feel me? With a cosign from Mac Dre, and then I come in straight spitting. You feel me? And that record did kind of set up my career. He's 16. He's about, you know what I mean? It basically set me up. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And listening to Filthy Phil and and all that and everything else. to have a Mac Dre album come out and he rapping from jail and then he introduce you on the, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, this boy got to be raw, whoever he is, because
man, an underhand pitch. It was an underhand pitch, man. You feel me? Like you couldn't lose, man. He set me up, even though he wasn't there physically. He was there. You know what I mean? And that's why it was so important to me to represent. Dre recorded my first demo. You know what I mean? And I remember the first time that I cut school. The Romp said they was gonna record me. My boys bring me over there, and I swear to God, it was such. I forget every rap. I forget every rap, and I must give him props because he let me come back again, and then I did my thing. You know what I mean? The plan was, man, for me to come out on Romp Records. You feel me? But with him not being there, I felt an honor and a pleasure, man, for me to represent. And I had to represent the right way.
That's right. That's right. Well, let me tell you this. You talked about the styles, but you got a song where just one word sums it all up, man. And it's one of my favorites. It's my favorite faster paced song on the album, man, and that's Versatile, bro.
Yeah.
Like before, I was listening to the tape, and it was like another iconic last verse that to the beat switches, and when you realize it's another song. But it was another classic song because, that last song ends and you start on Versatile. I thought it was just like a continuation of the last song.
Right. Versatile was actually one of Versatile was on my first demo. That wasn't a new one. That was a old one. Mac Dre actually recorded the first Versatile. And Kyrie kind of based his beat off of what Mac Dre already done. But a lot of people don't know Dre was a talented producer, bro. He was a talented producer. He didn't like to produce. Like later in life, he started to like it more. But he was a very talented producer.
Yeah, man. What do you have a favorite song on that album?
Nah. It's like saying which kid you love the most. You feel me? Every record is a snapshot of my life at that time. You feel me? I'm blessed to still perform them songs. I'm blessed that people still, love these songs. I couldn't tell you, man. I couldn't. I just love it. It's a whole, you know what I mean? And I can't say which kid is my favorite. You feel me?
Yeah. And then you came with another closeout, but right before that, you started saying this chant, Eric the Pimp, man. Eric the Pimp. Who was that?
One of my friends.
Eric, Mac Dre shot the name when he said, when I say Eric, I don't mean the DJ, I mean the Eric B.
Eric B is it's different.
It's another Eric.
No, E to P. He had Eric Boulder, EB, which is Dre Man from the Romper Room Crew, and I had Eric the Pimp. It was basically like just, he was in the studio at the time, and I'm just juiced, you know what I mean, and just giving him his props, you feel me? Because, our crews play an important part of the process because they are the first ones who hear the raps, in the car smoking weed. Cuddy, let me run this by you. You know what I mean? And they were, a big part of illegal business. That's why you see me with Sleepy D, you Sleep Dank on my record cover. You feel me? He was there with me that day.
Right.
It wasn't nothing planned. It was like he drove me over there. Get out the car. Come on, get up in this. And next thing you know, he's on one of the most iconic covers in West Coast hip hop. You feel me? Shout out to Sleep.
For real.
Yeah.
Crack 40. All I can say, man, is you were 16. You said you were 16 when you did that one?
I was 15.
15 when you, yeah.
Hey, man, it was 40 days. You feel me? We was drinking mad malt liquor. You feel me?
Old English and orange juice.
Oh man, St. Ives. You know what I mean? I used to like all that shit. You feel me? So it was basically, man, just kid stuff. You feel me? That's what we was on. That whole record is like I said, man, it's a snapshot of that time. You feel me? Of that time period. In that time period, I liked 40s. You feel me? For real. I'm 15, so I'm waiting in front of the store. Hey man, can you buy this for me? Hey man, can you buy this for me?
$2-3.
We wasn't drinking Cristal. We wasn't drinking none. You know what I mean? We was lucky if we got a 40. You feel me?
Yeah.
Straight up. And it's a little joke that I have that some of the most messed up stories that you ever heard start with, y'all drunk 2 40s then, I drunk 240s then. I burnt the house down. I drunk 240s then. I wrecked the car. I got, you know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to Old English.
And St. Ives, man.
Yeah, and St. Ives. And St. Ives. Speaking of that too, another big one, since you mentioned St. Ives, do you remember that St. Ives used to have commercials?
Well, Ice Cube and Biggie.
Ice Cube and Biggie and Wu-Tang, all of them. So I remember being in Detroit because I used to spend a lot of summers in Detroit, and I remember hearing those, and I think that influenced me to actually write the song.
Oh, all right, man.
Yeah.
There goes some history, y'all. If y'all picking up what he putting down, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
We finna get a little more controversial. You alluded to it, but the next song on there, you remember, was the bank heist, man. And let me just say this, man. Everybody and their mama sang that opening line, man. Time's got a brother express a mother.
Motherfucker. Life straight. Yeah, it was the mindset of the times. Like I say, man, I think I got about 4 bank robbers in my family alone. You feel me? Everybody, all my friends, all the older dudes, they was going, either they was getting away or some of them was going down. And it was the culture. It was the culture. So I wanted to write a rap that got in the mind that would make a person go rob a bank. You feel me? And this was not a fantasy. This is reality. This was my reality at the time. You feel me? Before when Mac Dre went to jail, me and Sleep Dank was walking up the street, and I'm basically telling him, like, you know, man, this rap thing ain't gonna work for me. My dream was right there, it got took for me. I'm talking to him about robbing the bank. Like, man, we need to go. You feel me? Because I'm seeing it's possible. You know what I mean? I'm seeing that you can do it and you can get away with it, because I'm seeing the people who have got away with it. And right when I'm talking to him about, man, maybe let's link up on something and hit a lick, DJ Cease called me and said, hey, Kyrie want to have a meeting with you. And that saved my life. You know what I mean? So it wasn't so far-fetched. You know what I mean? It was the reality of the time. And that's why it ended up being on the record.
Now, because you're getting real and real with it, I was wondering if I was going to share the story with you. But I was on Wall Street, man. It had to be the late 92, possibly early 93, sometime 92, 93. Man, a 70 Le Mans, I want to say it was Primo or Brown, struck past, and we hear the sirens, and they was chasing them, man. They got to the top of the wall. If you don't know our neighborhood, then you probably won't understand. But at the top of the wall, it's a straight L where you got to make a sharp right turn, and they didn't negotiate it right. They bathed, and I believe the rollers caught them, man. And the rumor was they was some romper room gang bandits, and they got caught. You know, so you ever hear a story like that?
Nobody got caught in Richmond. Nobody got caught in Richmond. But at the time too, they blamed a lot of things on the romper rooms. Anybody who robbed the bank at the time, they blamed on the romp. You know what I mean? Anybody. I got a cousin named I'm not gonna mention his name, but he saw the rising of bank robberies, so he decided to sneak in, and he got away with 3 of them. You feel me? Before they caught him. You know what I mean? Because he saw that, they just gonna think it's the romper room, I can get away with it, and he got away with 3 of them. You know what I mean? And my cousin didn't come from the hood. He was smart. He matter of fact, he he high up there in chess. You know, he was very calculated. So he slid in. You know what I mean? A lot of the people from the crust who robbed banks, they just all put it under the romper room umbrella. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, let that be a lesson to youngsters to understand they're doing a BIP thing. They, Stockton just got hit with we heard about the shooting and everything else.
Yeah, I used to live in Stockton, man. That really broke my heart. I used to live in Stockton, and I love Stockton. Man. You know what I mean? I just don't understand. That's how I know that I'm older now, because I couldn't fathom shooting at a little kid birthday party. Don't make no mean? Where I'm from, I don't like to condone violence, but when you do it, you got to get your man. You feel me? And an innocent kid is not your man. You feel me? And all you doing is opening it up to now there's no rules. So if I see you with your mama, your grandmama, your whoever, there's no more rules. You know what I mean? And I don't understand the logic of the turf that praises that. Because that shooter went back to his neighborhood. You feel me? And we would have to have a long talk if you shooting up babies, bro.
And then on top of social media and talk to everybody about it.
Yeah, I don't understand that, man. I don't understand that, man. A baby is innocent, man. Innocent. You don't get no props for hurting innocent people, bro. You know what I mean? Everybody that's in the field, we understand that we in the field and stuff gonna happen. But a baby ain't made that decision. You feel me? Real.
Yeah.
But it's and the bipping thing I don't understand either, because it's like, man, that's dope fiend shit. You feel me? Like dope fiends used to do that, break into cars. Now that's like a hustle that able-bodied people do. You feel me? But anyway, man. Yeah.
Your storytelling though was immaculate, man. You know, the bank down the street, I'm thinking about the vault. You know what I mean? What did you say? My conscience say, "Ma, don't do it," but how you thought? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Just the way you put it all together was.
Man, I'm in the cars with these people. I'm smoking weed. I'm seeing them before they go.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the situations that would make a person. You feel me? Bank robbery shit that we watched on TV. We watched the Cowboys and people like that. You feel me? So I watched the things around that would make a person take that step. And, you know, I'm so hungry. I'm so desperate that, you know, I'm going in there. I'm robbing banks because that's where the money is. You feel me? Straight up.
OG told me when I first started hustling, he said, "Hey, young brother," he said, "Why do banks get robbed?" And it was like a riddle, man. I'm like, he said, "Because they advertise money." And
straight up.
That made so much sense to me. He said a lot to me too. You know, where it's like,
yeah, and to see people actually do it and get away
with it.
You feel me? And then it became a thing in my neighborhood when cats was like, "Man, I ain't selling no dope. I'm finna risk everything for these couple of minutes and come out of here, and I'm finna be good for the whole year."
Yeah.
And it just caught on like wildfire after that. To everybody started doing it.
Well, on that note, and I'm not condoning it either, but I think you just answered your question about why they bit, because every so often they hit a lick big enough that make it seem like it's worth it.
Right.
But I just fear that they're gonna flip that script, and they got cameras everywhere, and now when you get caught, it ain't gonna be your first time. They're gonna have the priors and everything.
Man, I had my boy JR, man, my Minister of Information, JR, you feel me? His cousin, a cat was breaking into his car, right? And he comes out the house, the cat pulls out a gun and shoot this man. So you done turned a breaking and entering into a murder. Like, what is we doing here, bro? Rob a bank, man. Go grind, bro. You feel me? Go grind. Stop being a thief. You feel me? And then you so messed up in the head that you done turned that little crime into a murder beef.
Yeah, life.
Now you're done. Now you're done, man. So I don't understand that. But that bank heist, man, it was the time. It was my reality at the time. You feel me?
Don't want to see me energetic, going crazy on that microphone, man. And like I said, if they didn't know, they understand then. Like this little, he got it. You know what I'm saying? You was definitely saying something. Then
straight up, you don't want to see me. You know what I mean? Straight up, man. I got this. You feel me? For real.
Then you double back with Young in the Game and some more storytelling. But it was a lot of street knowledge, man. Let me ask you this question, man. How old was you when you came off the porch?
13.
The age of 13. Wow.
Yeah.
Now here's another question. What was the lesson that you wanted learned in that song? Do you remember?
I kind of wanted to just express the plight of basically me. You know what I mean? This was my expression. This was, you know what I mean? Me just, telling you just how it is. You feel me? At the time, it's like a lot of the rappers were older. You feel me? Yeah. So to be a voice for that demographic was very important for me, because a lot of the times our story was looked over. You feel me? You either, you know what I mean? It was just looked over. And one thing I liked about the people who I looked up to, like the Ice-T's and the Scarfaces, you feel me? That they didn't just tell you one side of the story. See, now a lot you hear just one side. And I like to say, you just saw the first part of Scarface, but you didn't see the whole movie. So you feel me? You just saw the rise, the come up, but that ain't the whole story. You know what I mean? You have to tell the whole story. You feel me? Of cause and effect. You know what I mean? Of your decisions, of things that you do. You know what I mean? So it was basically like one of those things. You know what I mean? To represent and to give that youngster a voice, because a lot of times he's overlooked. You feel me?
I feel you, bro. The next song, Money on the Dank. And for those that don't know, Dank was the best of the best weed that you could get.
Yeah.
And this basically was I Got Five on it before I Got Five on it became.
Don't give me. I was very influenced by RBL. You know what I mean? No, give me no Bammer weed. This was the times where me and my friends, I got $5, you got $5, you got $5, you got $5. We gonna go buy 20 sack. We gonna roll 4 joints, and we gonna have a great time. You know what I mean?
Roll the windows up.
Yeah. Okay. See, a lot of the youngsters don't know that we came in little bags back in the day. You feel me? Not in Zapacks. You feel me? But it was just the time. You know what I mean? The time. You feel me? Hey, I know you got some money on the dank. That was like a everyday question. You feel me?
Look up first, y'all. You see your partners, y'all piece up off to the dank spot, and here we go.
We gonna all piece up. We gonna get 240s. Have us a great old time. You feel me?
That's real. That's just the way it was. But now, you talked about it earlier, man. And shout out your book, man. I need a picture of that book cover so we can post it up.
Yeah, no doubt.
This one right here, I don't know if you knew what you was doing when you made this record, man. The voices, it's you every time, obviously, but you layered your voice a la Tupac before Tupac was really known for that. Before it was really a thing. You know what I'm saying? But my opinion has to be, is it top 25? Is it top 10 rap songs from the Bay? And
yeah. Okay, I gotta tell you the story.
Come on, man, let us know.
I am not the original person who did my opinion. I got my opinion from Pato Bantan. From the record, Mad Professor Captures Pato Bantan. My best friend Bird had an uncle named Kim, right? Kim used to drive a mini truck, and he played. And this is when we was wrapping the record up. So he played My Opinion, the original one, and at this time you can cut that in. He played that for me, and when I heard that, it just captivated me. So what I did was, I made it, and if you know anything about reggae music, they do versions. You feel me? Whenever there's a popular song in Jamaica, when it comes out, everybody does a version. So I did a version of that song, and it actually was one of the last songs we recorded on the record. But as Pato Bantan being from Europe, he was from Jamaica, of course, but he lived in Europe, London. You know what I mean? I took his the way that he did it, but I switched it to American young California dude. You know what I mean? In his song, he talk about Margaret Thatcher or whatever, and I talk about Ronald Reagan. And I basically just took the energy, the feeling of that song, and I remixed it to us and what we was dealing with. And I actually met Pato Bantan. You know what I mean? Great guy. And he knows about my song and everything. And it basically was that, bro. And it was one of the last songs on the record. And it ended up becoming one of the biggest, and also the name of my book.
Man, again, shout out to the book. But let me ask you this question before I say what I was going to say. Did he endorse it when you talked to him about it?
I'm sure he didn't even know what it was. I was just a youngster saying, "Hey man, I gotta," because I had met him because he actually lives in the Bay, or not the Bay, but he lives in Northern California right now. And I actually, when I did the sold out show at Yoshi's, when I headlined that show, I was trying to bring him out, and fingers crossed. For my birthday show, I'm gonna try to bring him out and let him do his version and me do my version.
Well, that'd be dope. Dope.
But he acknowledged my song. He knows who I am. You know what I mean? And a real cool brother. You feel me? I haven't talked to him in a while, but when I talked to him, he's open. He was ready to come to the show, but our schedules conflicted. But he's a great guy, and I thank him, man. He's master teacher, and I appreciate him. You feel me?
let me tell you how I feel about this, about what you just said, man. Shout out to you for giving him props, and shout out to the brother. I'm pretty sure the song was dope, because to be worthy of emulating, that means you did something dope. But let me tell you this: the next episode of Classic Flow is featuring 1984, right? Talk about the top albums 1984. There's a song called "Hard Times" by Run DMC. You familiar with that?
Hard Times. Yeah, come on.
Did you know that Curtis Blow made the song first in 1980?
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely can see that. You know what I mean? I definitely can see that. I don't think I've heard that version. You know what I mean? I'm a big Curtis Blow fan.
Yeah.
But at the time, you know what I mean? He was, he had made it, and then that producer Larry Smith. His sound was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? That's the sound of my youth. Larry Ladd picked me up in the Cadillac. So
he never came back.
Yeah, so yeah, and then with the whole Russell Simmons connection, I can see how that happened. Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is this is my philosophy, bro. It's a lot of remakes out there of different songs, right? It's cool to make a remake, but you got to make it as good, if not better, than the original.
Right. I mean, a lot of people don't even know that my opinion is a remake. They think it was my thing. But it is cool for people who heard the original to hear my version and be like, it was cool. Like, how did the youngsters know about that? You feel me? And it's just at the time, punk rock, reggae, and hip hop were all growing, and it was all a mixture of everything. You know what I mean? So I listened to just as much reggae as I listened to rap. You know what I mean? And I got on punk rock through watching MTV, waiting on a Michael Jackson video. You feel? I actually got a Misfits tattoo. That's how much I love punk rock. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just, we all were influenced by everything at that time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you get my point. Like we never heard Curtis Blow. Hopefully his is good, but
it's one of his biggest hits. I still love it. You know what I mean? And it makes me feel the same way that I felt that as that little kid when I heard that, because I never heard anything like it, and I was just like, you know what I mean? And it just clicked to me like, I need to say my opinion. You feel me? And I kind of did it for reggae fans, thinking that they're gonna think it's cool that I did some on this song. You know what I mean? But the song grew legs, and people, you know what I mean, think it's me. You know what I mean? But I always give credit where credit is due.
That's as you should. So finish this line for me, man. I might just be a dead man because I speak rebellion. The way
that Malcolm X or Dr. King, there ain't no telling.
You light years ahead of your age, bro, saying stuff like that.
Man, it's just feeling, man. And it was based off that song. Of course, he didn't say those lyrics, but it was like I internalized it and I brought it out my way. You feel me? And at the time, you know what I mean? Like, man, I'm 15, not knowing if I'm gonna make 18, doubting that I'm gonna make 21. You feel me? So it was just, and it's my opinion. I just got everything off my heart. You feel me?
I feel you 100%, man. Three of my best peoples, man, died at the age of 23.
Right.
So we
wasn't nothing guaranteed back then.
Yeah. We had young Sonny out of Richmond. I don't know if you ever heard of Sonny before. He was Richmond's Lil D. You know what I'm saying? Then we had my boy Dury.
I think my sister Yan Stern. She talk about dude. Yeah. Shout out to my sister Yan, man.
Yeah, definitely. And then my little cousin Banks, all at the age of 23, man, took up out of here. So video on that. Now, here's another line that times have changed now, but you said there's no hesitation for the snitch assassination.
Yeah.
So tell me, can you really, young buck, I take you on a ride in the trunk tied up?
Because that was the thing. Cats come get you, snatch you up, throw you in the trunk. You feel me? And if a cat puts you in the trunk, it was damn near a death sentence. You knew it was over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the temperature of the time. That was not just a lyric. That's what people were doing. They would come get you, throw you in a trunk, and when they open it, you know what I mean? You gone. And then they throw you back in there and burn the car or some shit. But that was a Bay Area custom.
particularly with snitches. That's the way it
Yeah.
was.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Snitches, ballers, if they thought you had it, whatever. I mean, that was just the thing. That was not just a lyric. That was going down.
That was going. So here's the part I want to know. And with love, the day that they would find you and sign you off as a loss because you
Just tossed off Carquinez. Bridge, and if you live, make dibs on a wood box. I'll be kicking the rocks of shit and don't wear the dreadlocks.
which explains why you said the roster, because you got it from the. Come on. No, that's
Yeah.
and that's what's up.
Word up.
As you can tell, I be listening to this stuff, man.
Thank you.
I had no brothers, no sisters, so like Houdini and them say, man, my radio is my best friend. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. Sometime only friends. Shit.
That's real talk. Now, the next song, you talked about it already, Legal Business, man. That was your title track. Was this like the awakening of Mac Mall?
Illegal Business was the first rap that I rapped to Kyrie.
Okay.
That was the first rap. I was living on 501 Mark Street in the Crest. He came up there. He had a BMW. He played the beat. I started rapping Illegal Business, and that's how the Illegal Business controls America. That was a line from KRS-One. And Kyrie, if you look at my record cover, it says Illegal Business with a question mark. You know what I mean? Because the question mark was, shit, all business might be illegal. And if it's illegal business, is it illegal? You feel me? But yeah, that was the first rap. And it ended up becoming the title track of the record. My name is Jamal, Jamal. It's Mac Mall. Kyrie put another L on there so people would be able to spell it.
And say it right.
Be able to say it right. Yeah.
Everybody know the mall. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. So, you know what I mean? And one thing that was important for us, because we actually had records and CDs, the titles of the songs were very important. And Kyrie taught me that, because the titles of the record, I remember going to like T.Y. Uzi's and looking at the records, and you would pick the record up and then you would read the songs. And sometimes the name of the songs would make you buy the record. You feel me? I want to know what this. I know you got some money on the dank is. I want to, you know what I mean. So,
yeah.
So the names of the song was just as important. You feel me?
And let me tell you what else was important, especially in that day, to have back-to-back slap. Because T.Y. Uzi and Richmond, they had a system in there that was out of this world. So they would alley put the album on for you. You know what I'm saying? And
you had to get them with the first three songs. You had to either get them or lose them.
Every time.
You know what I mean? Straight up. That's just how it is. You feel me?
Well, that's how I got your tape, bro. Mac Dre sent me there, and then listen to it. I ended up buying it.
Word up.
So the reason why I asked you that question about the awakening, because you said thinking about the game and how all this coke is being bought. You know what I mean? It's like, and deep thought about that, man. Talk about the different aspects of trying to come up from not making money in your spot to taking over somebody else's spot, and then what results from taking over other people's spots and stuff like that.
I mean, the thing with me, it was like I say, man, all the artists that I looked up to, they all told the whole story. You know what I mean? So it was like, you're not just gonna get one story of we won every fight. No, we fought. You know what I mean? And if you fight, it's a chance that you're gonna lose. You feel me? Now, I wasn't no baller. You feel me? I was growing up poor in the turf. You feel me? But I'm in the middle of this game. I'm seeing the ballers. My peoples is the ballers, and I'm seeing dope. I'm seeing the smokers. I'm seeing everything that's around me. You know what I mean? So I just kind of wanted to just reflect on that, man, and just not talk like the baller, but just get a game to everything. You know what I mean? Straight up. Right. You know what I mean? Because at that time, you know what I mean, crack was fucking going crazy.
It was. That's what it meant.
And it's like, and even at that young age, I was seeing that, this is a trap. This is something. This is something that was put on us. You know what I mean? This is something that is put on us, and it just ain't all about the ballers and whatever. Because for every one baller, is 100 broken families.
For real.
Feel me? And then the thing that I was tripping off of even back then is that they allow you to sell dope, nigga. They allowed you to sell dope. And then when they done with you, they come get you. You had a nice 2-year run. If you survive, we're gonna give you for that 2 years that you bought, we're gonna give you 40. You feel me? So I had to just really just reflect on all that shit. You feel me?
Story's been told 1,000,000 times, man.
Yeah, man.
About a brother growing up into the life of crime. That's short.
Come on.
That's real talk. So let me ask you this then. Was that like a warning shot before Ghetto Thing? Like, was that your...
It wasn't, set up like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was not set up like that. Kyrie is the one who made the track list. But like I said, man, it's all just me at that time, how I felt, what I saw, and me trying to make sense of it, growing up in the middle of it. You feel me? And the listener is somebody that I'm expressing myself to, that I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Yeah, I be hurt. Yeah, sometimes this is confusing, and trying to make sense of this world, like a boy in the middle of the world trying to make sense of it as I grow into a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when you put Kyrie stamp on it, I'm gonna answer for him with the producer DJ mindset. Well, yeah, that's what arrangement, that's what production is all about. You know what I mean? The album should flow almost like a movie, if you will. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you had right there, because you take back with, we got to get it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ghetto Theme, and that was another thing. Like, that's how I felt at that time, not knowing what impact that'll make. And that song, you know what I mean? That was the one that Tupac said, I want to do this with you. You feel me? He picked the Ghetto Theme. Mm-hmm. And not only did he pick the song, he said, I'm going to direct the video. And a lot of people don't know this. Tupac directed my video for free. Tupac is the one who got the crew together. That was all his crew. That was all his people that he got. You know what I mean? We literally just came out there, and he basically directed me from top to bottom. That was his vision. That was his whole idea. Everything about that was him. You know what I mean? I couldn't have came up with that. That was him. And he shot 2 videos. He shot Last Night for Ray Love, and he shot Ghetto Theme totally for cost. And that's cost of the video. He didn't get a dime off that. You know what I mean? We couldn't even afford to pay him if he did. You know what I mean? That was a labor of love for him. And at that time, he saw something in me that I'm blessed that he did. Rest in peace, Tupac. Rest in peace, Fanny. Rest in peace, Doc. You know what I mean? Matulu Shakur, you feel me?
Yeah.
They basically put me under their wing, man, and they did it at a time where there wasn't no upside of messing with me. You know what I mean? Tupac was the biggest rapper in the world. You know what I mean? He took me as a kid, dust me off, and blessed me, man. You feel me? And taught me so much, and that's why you never see me cheapen the memory of him or our friendship. I don't sell it. You know what I mean? It's something that I hold dear. You know what I mean? And I thank him every day. You feel me? Straight up. I miss him every day too.
Yeah, and I tell you this one thing. It didn't. Because I was watching videos back in those days. We was making movies. I saw that video before, but I didn't look at it. Same thing with I Ain't Mad at You, and I documented Tupac. 10 songs by Tupac that everybody need to hear. Not his commercial songs, but 10 songs that if you hear these songs, you'll understand him and the myth and who he was a whole lot better, right?
Those videos are kind of similar too if you watch them.
That's what I'm telling you.
The videos are kind of similar because that was his idea, bro. Shout out to Tracy and Gobi. Tracy and Gobi was the people who shot Tupac videos. You know what I mean? Man, Pac got the crew, the film crew. Pac got the locations. And at the time, a lot of people don't know, he was fighting cases in 3 different states.
That was going on.
He was going through everything. All he would do when he was on break was be on the phone with his lawyers and making deals and going through stuff. But he still took the time, man, to bless me with that. You know what I mean?
Solid. He did you a solid for real with that.
And that video went worldwide. When I did the Apollo Theater, right? I did the Apollo. This is around Legal Business 2000 time. And I was nervous, of course, being from the West Coast. I'm doing the Apollo
in New York.
I'm nervous, you feel me? But the one thing that made me feel better is when we get to the back of the Apollo and they letting us in, the security guard said, "Hey, I like that Tupac video." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I was like, oh shit, they know me. So I felt a little better going and doing the finishing the process. Yes. But shout out to Pac, man. And that song still rings true today.
Yeah, sometimes that's all you need, right? When you're a little nervous, you just need somebody to just say,
Yeah. But you know, that song, hey man, even to this day, people say that song was ahead of its time, and they say that song still rings true to this day. Young players got to get it together, man.
For sure. So what now? Was Get Right? Was that like part 2 of that?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it was. Huh?
How old were you when you made that one?
What? 18. Yep, 18.
Yeah. Well, we come to the last song on the album, man. Pimps.
Yes.
It's a Crest Posse cut. Let's just say that first of all.
Yes.
Ray Love is on there.
Ray Love, Mac Dre, me, and Kyrie. Kyrie bust one of his verses. You feel me? And that was just, hey man, you know, I come from the Bay Area, man. It's the home of the game, man. The home with the Warren brothers. You feel me? Magic Mike, Calvin T, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That ism is always gonna be up in us. You feel me? And it was actually Mac Dre from the Feds got on the song. Ray Love, you feel me?
Yeah.
And, you know, posse cut.
I forgot Mac Dre was on there.
Yeah. Mac Dre on there over the phone. So, you know, it's a posse cut. You know what I mean? Just us spitting our game, man. Talking our shit. You feel me?
That's what's up. You got a little more time, man?
Yeah, what's up?
So, Dusty, bro, because that's the one time that you and Tupac are on the same record, bro. Let me tell you something. I slept on Pac, man. The first 2 albums, I knew he had a couple songs out there, but it just wasn't played in my car. You know what I mean?
Right.
Homeboy of mine was at the studio when they was doing the Thug Life, and he had a demo tape left at my house. My house was, you know, heard the Beatles talk about the dank room. My house was the dank room.
Right.
And all that stuff, music, you know what I mean? Left the tape there. So I started getting into it based on the samples and, you know, Aqua Boogie. Yeah, you know, all right, Pac, he got a little something to say. Okay, I was a little wrong about it. But then once he busted on Dustin and Disgusted, it was over. It was
okay. Great story. Check it out. I was never supposed to be on Dustin and Disgusted. I'm in LA doing a promo run, right? I get a call from Tupac, man, we all at the studio. Richie Rich here, Spice One here, 40 here, Tupac here. Come to the studio. Now there's a thing, when Tupac calls you, whenever Tupac calls you, you drop everything you're doing and you get to where he is, because Tupac gonna all have the coolest shit, the coolest girls, you're gonna have the best weed, the best time. So it was one of those things. I remember coming to the studio, big old cloud of smoke. You feel me? And me, it was me and Young Lay. We come in there. 40 is my cousin. Spice One, I knew since I was about 13. J Diggs brought Spice One to the Crest. You feel me? What else? Rich was through there. And I'm sitting there. 40's my cousin. I'm sitting there. I'm just trying to smoke some weed. I ain't even thinking about what they doing, right? So Tupac looks at me and say, "Ma, is you rapping on this?" And I'm like, I don't know. Tupac gave me his 8 bars to get on the song. That's why if you trip, he's on there once and I'm on there once. He gave me those bars.
That's respect right there.
But there's a story to this. Now, 40 is damn near talking about my neighborhood in that song.
Let's let off the 203s on the other side of town.
Other side of town is my side of town. Now, at that young age, I had a decision to make. Am I going to put my voice with the best rappers in the Bay Area at the time? Or am I going to let turf politics dictate? Me, you know, I'm an MC, man. I gotta, these are the best. These people are the best. I gotta see how I rank with the best. And I caught a lot of flack from my neighborhood for getting on that song. You had some people who understood, but you had other cats who was, because shit was so cold back in the day that you couldn't play E40 or anything to do with the Click and the Crest. And you couldn't play Mac Dre or anything to do with the Crest and they side.
Yeah.
So that was the first time we was coming together, and it was a lot of people mad about that. You know what I mean? A lot of people mad about, but I had to take it. I had to take the chance.
Yeah,
I had to do it because these people in this room are the best. You know what I mean? So
it was the Bay at that time,
right? So it's like, imagine if I'd have been like, nah, I can't get on that song. You know what I mean? That song is a Bay Area classic. You know what I mean? So I did catch a lot of flack for that, but I'm glad I made that decision.
I think it may have even bridged the gap because later we found out that Mac Dre and E40 was actually at each other video shoots or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, them dudes, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, man, it was our side. You know what I mean? I don't think that them two dudes had, you know, they did, you know, have little shit, you know, just in the rap game where they taking shots at each other, but it wasn't like no problem with them two. You feel me? Straight up.
It's usually like that with the
And I honestly was able to get them on a song for the U.S. Open, Dre-dio. I was able to make that happen, and I say, hey man, what you think about us getting 40 on the record? And Dre didn't have no problem with it. You feel me?
ADIO. Yeah. Kind of like, wait. Cafe Echelon. Man, come on, bro.
Yeah, they didn't have 40 didn't have no problem, and he didn't have no problem, so we made it happen. You feel me?
Y'all did your thing, and let me say this too: you held your own on that Dustin and Disgusted too. So,
oh yes, definitely, I had to. You feel me? I had to, man. I'm with the best.
Yeah,
the best with these dudes in one room. You feel me? I had to take that shot, man. Mm-hmm. I had to. You feel me? I had to, bro. And you know, and it all worked out in the end. You feel me?
Yeah. Now we're gonna close it out on this one right here. You talk about Bay classics, and you got one under your belt. That album is classic. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
But this right here, it don't matter when I play it as a DJ, where I play it, a wedding, a class reunion, a corporate event, a girl sipping paint. You know what I mean? Paint and sip, whatever they call it. This song, it could be played early and it start getting people on the dance floor. It could be played while they dancing. It's going to keep them on the dance floor. And it could be played in the end when we slowing it down and get the brothers ready to holler at whatever females is left over. You know what I mean? Get your feet in. But that's wide open, bro. Your biggest record?
One of them. I mean, yeah, it's a record that is special to a lot of people. I actually do weddings now. It's a song that I actually didn't want to do. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to do it, but I kind of did it out of spite. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it so good. And and it ended up becoming one of my best songs, my favorite songs. You know what I mean? It's kind of like my secret weapon because no matter who on the lineup on the show, you feel me? I know when I do this song, I'm finna have every woman up in here singing.
That's it.
Now you can have a twerk song or whatever, but I got this secret weapon that when I play this song, every woman up in here is finna sing. You feel me? So yeah, man, I shout out to the Bay. And to now think that people are incorporating in that into their weddings. That's gonna be, you know, at their 50th anniversary, they're gonna talk about Wide Open and how they danced to that and how how their husband played that, you know, for them to let them know how they felt about him and stuff like that. So to have a song that you know that touches all colors, all ages, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, man. And to think I didn't want to do it at first, and I'm happy I made that decision to do it. You feel me? Shout out to my girl Shima for Oakland. She's the lady who sings on that song. So yeah.
And then
very special.
And then shout out to Tiffany, the girl in the video.
Oh yeah, shout out to Tiff. Much love to her. You know what I mean? Much love to her. You know what I mean? She's the wife of Chef Smelly. Shout out to him too. But man, and she was a big part of it because I didn't want just a regular video girl up in there. Yeah, I wanted, you know, a pretty, a beautiful girl you know what I mean? Like from the hood, basically. You know what I mean? I didn't want no model chick up in here. Nah, I want somebody who
relatable.
Yeah. That every girl can feel like they are like. You know what I mean? And she definitely was a giant part of that song. You know what I mean? And I thank her. You know, I want to thank her publicly for even being in the video. That was actually Jay King. Shout out to my OG Jay King hooked us up. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, I know Tiffany all her life, and her sister Melissa and I. We don't know when we didn't know each other. We grew up little kids.
A wonderful woman. You feel me?
Out there now. Real talk. Well, if Pop was here, he would have told you that rap for the women, and then the brothers gonna want what they want. The formula was laid in that song right there. You know what I mean? You know, Drew Down. You know, Drew Down had "No One's Gonna Love You." You know, you had "Dangerous Dame, Stay With Me." You know, where
Dangerous Dame was a big influence on me. Dangerous Dame is an all-around MC. All-around MC. Dangerous Dame was everything. He wasn't just one thing. He was all things. And I believe that, you know, a person is everything. A person is just not one thing. You know what I mean? You're not just a gangster. You're not just a dealer. You're not just, you know what I mean? I know some of the hardest dudes who love their woman, who love their mama. You feel me? So it was important to me, even now through my career, to express all sides. Don't just tell one side of the story. Tell all sides. You feel me? Straight up.
What I was gonna say, what I like about it is y'all found a way to show a little bit of transparency. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was ism though. It wasn't nothing soft about it.
Nah. Because I felt that I wanted to make something that every brother would feel proud to say to his woman, without it sounding like just like I'm lying, or like a silky R&B song. Well, I want to bring you the world, and I want to. Nah, this is what your average brother is gonna tell his woman. You feel me? He's gonna tell his woman straight up. And that's why it connected with so many people.
Well, look, that's how we're gonna close it out, man. I appreciate you taking out the time. You got anything that you want to shout out? You got
man, check out the book on Amazon, My Opinion. You know what I mean? And man, just follow me on all social networks. The real Mac Mall, my Facebook, Mac Mall Music. And man, just I want to thank everybody for the support through all these years, and keep supporting. And man, I love everybody, man. And you thank you for having me on your show. And man, I want to see y'all at the next show. Peace. You feel me?
Classic Flow, the mix, the culture, the movement, the one and only Mac Mall. Man, shout out to y'all, man. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all go stream some more of his music. Illegal Business Classic, Wide Open. We're gonna still continue to hear that on and on, but he got more than that as well. So till the next time, y'all be blessed.
Man, y'all be smooth. Right on. Okay, let me see shit.
I represent the Yay area.